So are you just on your phone or?
No, I pulled up Skype actually.
So, are you using? So there's no video on yours?
I mean, I can turn it on. I just don't have it on right now.
Okay, because I can if you turn it on, that'd be good. That'd be okay with me, because.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch yesterday's episode?
Not really.
And I've never.
But I did read the script, so there was that.
Yeah, I'm never gonna get over the fact that over the outtake you've had for the last episode, episode 2, where you're like, where you say your line of, I want to talk to Raina now, and then Claudio's supposed to go, she's tired, Irish, you can talk later.
Yeah, I saw that, actually. I'm like, okay. That's like, it's just one of those spur of the moment ideas I just come up with for no reason. I'm like, it just happened.
Yeah, that was hysterical. I loved it.
Yeah, everyone I saw at least.
Anyway, okay, so on to some sad stuff. Have you either seen or played episode Arden?
Yes, I have. I actually 100% completed that. Like, I took the time to do all the towers and everything. And the hats.
Yes, all of the hats.
Yeah. It's like, why hats?
Because he has his fedora and
Oh my goodness. All the fedora memes,
Yeah.
Like, I had to think about that for some reason. I don't know why.
And the bonus you get for completing the episode, you get Noct gets to dress up like Arden. It's like, okay.
I'm gonna dress like my uncle.
Exactly.
Who I don't even know who my great 100 Brits later uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
And, the scene where Era had to die in front of him again. I was like,
that was just like, I thought that was so messed up. I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked episode Arden, but to me, it suffered from having too many cooks in the kitchen, if you know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Because some of the information that was presented in that kind of conflicted with the main story, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, like who the heck is Azunia? He says, in the main game, he says, you'll never guess who Azunia was. And we're like, okay, can you please answer that question?
And they're like, nope.
A red herring that goes absolutely nowhere.
I mean, unless Azunia is is it an anagram? Is that the term? Anagram. Let me look that up real quick. Oh, I'm like, what is this? Like, oh yeah, what if Azunia was an anagram? I don't know, of some other name.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I was just like, why do you put these things in the main game and not answer them? What's the problem, you guys? I mean, how did Square go from being able to tell a complete story to not?
I'm sure we've gotten some of these answers if the other episodes were released, Square Enix.
Yes, but they're releasing Dawn of the Future. I have no idea.
I feel like they're releasing it as an apology at full price of a game.
Yeah.
At least we're getting an English release of it. English translation at least, which is nice. I will get it, but I'm still salty about the fact that they canceled all of them because, believe it or not, when they announced that they were going to have a new season, I spent hard-earned money for the season pass, only to find out, we're just releasing one. And then, Tabata left. And then apparently the game we got was vastly different because Nomura was kicked off. Well, they're like, stop, Nomura, you can't make this into a musical just because you saw Les Miserables. Yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah,
that was the thing. He wanted to make
it. And the thing with Nomura was it apparently it was all over the place. You know, they were 7 years in development before anything even remotely resembling a game started to come out.
Well, you know what's something funny? I saw this image once. You know how it basically the crystal kept Noctis inside of it for 10 years. We waited 10 years for this game to release. Coincidence? I think not.
Yep, exactly. Oh, and you know, I wish Josh was here, God Emperor Josh, so we could heckle him about Arden. Because he was really good. I was legit creeped out.
I know, right? He's good.
Yeah, I was like, ooh. This is not the guy you want to meet on a dark street corner.
Well, just Arden in general, you know.
Well, but according to episode Arden, he was a real sweetheart at one point. I was like,
oh yeah, and he was fine after, you know, you had, what's his, Verstal. It's Verstal, right?
Yeah.
I always forget how to pronounce his name and what it is. I just know it's like, it's V. He was fine until Verstal got him, and it just went downhill from there pretty quickly.
He wasn't exactly fine. He was locked away in the dark for 2,000 years, but at least he could dream about happier times.
Yes, but then Verstal had to be the instigator. And they just happened to have Ifrit there, you know?
Yeah, it's like, okay, so Arden made the choice to turn him into a demon, but it was like, that was not a good decision, Arden. That was not a good choice, you know, because...
Yeah. I also found it interesting how the Kingsglaive only decided to show up when the Empire went and picked up Arden from his daycare. I don't know why I'm calling it daycare, but oh my goodness.
Yeah, but like he was
angsty daycare.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's night care actually, if you think about it. It was at night. Oh, they were just late on the pickup. You know, we gave him snacks. We kept him clothed. I was gonna say we kept him warm, but he's not really wearing anything that's warm. But oh my goodness, this is some random stuff.
Yeah, but I was just like, you know, and when Verstal's talking to him during when he gets to the dining room or whatever, and Verstal's talking to him, I'm like, he goes, I have no ear for the ramblings of a lunatic. I'm like, way to go! I mean,
thank you,
because Verstal's just going on and on and on, and then he's like, ugh.
That, and it's weird to hear Steve Bloom's voice coming out of Prompto's face.
I know.
It's like, I've been so used to Robbie Damon.
Which, okay. And you know how I said I wanted to do my panel at my local convention?
Yeah.
Robbie Damon and Ray Chase are gonna be there.
Well, what do you know?
Not necessarily at my panel, but you know.
No, I know. I mean, at the convention. I figured that's what you meant.
You know, and I was like, I hope we get Darren DePaul, but maybe not. I don't know.
What are the odds?
Yeah.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
I'm like, and you said it's going to be like next year, and I'm like wondering, it's like, I mean, if I can make it, I hope I have the money and it's possible. I mean, because that's quite the trip.
Yeah. So it's just
Utah.
You know.
And then there's the fact that, like, I live in an area where I have to make multiple stops just to get to one location. And I can't drive there either. It's like one of those things, and I just hate that sometimes. But, hey, who knows, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just going to do whatever. You know, I live at least close enough that it's only going to take me, like, you know, it's not going to take me days to get there. It's going to take me like maybe 45 minutes or something. You know, but still, I want to make this work, and I'm going to do whatever I have to, you know, because we've as a group, you know, like I said when I first read it, have I told you about when I first read it? I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
I know, right?
Have you read the fanfic? You know, the stuff that have you been able to read some of it?
I have, actually. I like it.
Yeah,
it's some really good stuff. I mean, like, it's not often you find good written, well-written fan fiction, and trust me, I am very particular on what I read.
You know, and some of the fan fiction, you know, I'm not mad about Arden being, you know, super happy or whatever, because he deserves that, but sometimes it just takes him way out of character, and just small nitpicks, like, if, you know, like I read one where he ends up in a fivesome with Ignis, Prompto, Noctis, and Gladio. Ignis, Prompto, Noctis, and Gladio as a fivesome. And I'm just really?
It is kind of weird, and it's like, I remember when I first booted up episode Arden, you know, it had that beginning with him and Era. I'm like, this is vastly different compared to what I'm used to from his character, and there is a reason for that, and I realize that, but it's still weird. Hi, Kitty.
And he's just such an adorable dork, though. In at the beginning of the episode, he's just such an adorable dork. Well, not just
that, but the what was it, Founders Day or something? That was what it was called. It's been a while since I played it. I only played it like once, and that was it. And I just binge played it.
Founders Day, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, he's going through the crowd, everything's normal, and then he just calls out Ifrit. There's that
Let the
pause,
fun begin. He snaps
and there's
his
delay, and he's just standing there with his fingers in the air, and he's like, Ifrit, where are you? You're supposed to be here now. We agreed on this appointment. We agreed to meet up here. You are nowhere. I feel like you stood me up. And then all of a sudden,
it comes along. And
I still like the idea that the day at the DMV, you know, Artie goes to DMV. That idea originally, it was a joke idea we mentioned. I remember once upon a time.
Yeah, Artie goes to the DMV, and Ifrit shows up.
Because it's like, no one would take him seriously. It's like, my name is Arden. He's like, no, you're not. It's like, yes, I am. Do you not? Like, and it's like, we're gonna have to arrest you. He's like, Ifrit, come here. And then Ifrit comes out of nowhere because he's panicking. It's all a misunderstanding, you know. I don't know what could have happened to lead to such for it to escalate like that, but it would have been funny. You know, everyone could have gotten creative on that. Come on.
Yeah.
I feel.
And after the episode, I don't have the game, but did you go back in the main game and just beat the crap out of the Mystic?
Not yet, because I had a ton of other games to play, and that would have meant I would have to do a new game plus.
But.
Yeah, I've heard it's worth it, but, like, I am still disappointed in the product we got in the end. I really am, because there was just so much promise.
Yeah.
Like, and then, like, a part of me knows, like, in some alternate universe, we got the game that we deserved. You know?
But it's not this universe.
I know.
Square Enix for
okay, believe it or not, I was actually looking forward to playing episode Luna Freya. I kid you not, I actually like Luna Freya. I'm just disappointed in how they treated her character, how they, you know, what they did in the end. That and Stella. Anyone remember Stella?
Yes, I remember Stella.
I mean, that character, we didn't even know much about her. I think we know more about her than we know about Luna Freya, but she had such promise, and I'm hoping that Square Enix manages to find a way to reuse that character, because, again, I thought there was such promise with that character. I was intrigued by that character.
And but at least she wasn't as useless as Kyrie. Remember?
Don't remind me. I'm still disappointed with that too. I'm very mad about that, and I'm very mad at the end. How at the end, after he beat Xehanort, finally, old man Xehanort, and his reasoning of why he did everything he did, I'm like, are you kidding me? And if you've seen Just a Pancake's Kingdom Hearts 3 in a nutshell thing, if you've seen that,
I was like,
yeah, the part where like
really,
Sora's like, what? And everyone's like, okay, I believe you, and Sora's like, I'm gonna go kill myself. What? I'm gonna go save Kyrie. That's exactly how I felt at that moment.
Yeah, just Square Enix overall. What? Oh, and you want to know what happened? When they changed from, I think it's their current president they have right now wants to, make an IP and then milk every last cent from the current IP. So that's why.
Oh my goodness! Square Enix is turning to Disney.
That's why they're doing, the multimedia universe for Final Fantasy 15 and Final Fantasy 13, and
they're doing
Oh well, no. That's what they did with 13.
Well, the thing is, there was only 2 systems, and it was fine. In fact, believe it or not, I played it on the 360. I have it on the 360. It ran okay, but apparently it looks a lot better on the PS3. As far as the graphics are concerned. The quality, at least.
Yeah. And I was like, the story is what made Square Enix, or not Square Enix, but the story is what made Square, that's what made their games so popular, so they just dropped.
That and the characters. You had a large cast of characters. That was not very common back in the day, because usually when you have that many characters to develop, it's very hard to give them equal character development while still making them interesting at the same time. It was Square Enix used to be the masters of that. And those who created, the Tales of series, like, Tales of Symphonia and whatnot, they had a huge cast of characters. And at some points in each of the stories, they have, like, a story, like, for each character to develop their character, and it actually, contributes to the plot. And that was something I liked about the Tales games, too.
Yep. So
and then the announcement of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh my goodness! I mean, I'm hyped about it, but I am worried.
Yeah, I'm worried.
Like what they did when they redesigned Tifa for one thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, she looks nice.
Yeah, she
but
does.
Then they had to have the whole ethics department. I'm like, really? There are actually people who have big bosoms. It's a thing. It's an actual thing. Sometimes it's natural, and sometimes people like women like that get picked on for that, like especially in school.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like that's an actual thing, and they just want to do that. And then the one thing, but that's minor. That's my minor complaint. My major complaint. It may not stop me from buying the game. However, the original cast is not returning, and I was very disappointed because.
Well, and I understand their need for new voice actors, so that doesn't bother me, but.
Yeah, but, like, the one thing I'm worried about, my favorite character is Vincent. I'm going to tell you that. Vincent is my favorite character. And I was like, I met Steve Bloom back in 2017 when I went to MetroCon. And I was like, what? He's like, will you return as Vincent Valentine for the remake? And he's like, I hope so. Or something like that. That's what he said. And I'm like, I'm hoping so too. But then when they announced a new cast, I'm like, I'm worried. Because they don't even have Quentin Flynn voicing Reno. And I was like, oh my goodness, I was disappointed.
Yeah, and you know what's gonna be really weird for me, especially since this is gonna be in the first part. The honeybee, the whole cross-dressing
Honeybee
scene.
Inn. Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna be like
the Wall Market area. I keep wanting to call it Wall Street.
Wall Market area. Anyway,
that was just that, but that part was so iconic in a way. For those who have played the game, I'm like wondering, what is Cloud gonna look like dressed up as a woman? That's what I'm curious about. I'm like, is it gonna look natural? Or is it gonna look weird?
Yeah,
because it's his hair. It's his hair.
It's supposed to look a little weird because he's naturally a guy, but
Yeah, but now I'm thinking of the title. Dude looks like a lady.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like wondering how are they gonna pull this off, because I want to see how they pull it off, because I'm just very curious. I really am. And like I'm wondering like how much of the story they're gonna change up, or how much it says it's gonna be like separate games because the game can be so huge. I wonder what their stopping point of the first game is going to be, and I'm wondering how they're going to change things, because
it's just going to be Midgar. The first game's just going to be Midgar only.
Oh, I would hate if they ended it on basically them escaping from Shinra in that last boss battle. Yeah, like right before they leave.
But Midgar. Sephiroth is going to show up a lot more in the first part.
But he's not voiced by George Newman. He's not voiced by Superman. Mm-hmm. That's what made it so ironic for him to be voiced by George Newman, because Superman. The animated series? I
was not really into that when I was a kid. So.
Well, it wasn't just Superman, but they did Justice League as well. Back in the early 2000s. It's like, oh my goodness, I feel so old.
I know. And it's just like, ugh.
And the reason why I'm so concerned of how much they're going to change story-wise is because I'm writing a Final Fantasy VII fanfic. Well, I stopped at a certain point because not just because I lost interest and I got busy, but I get other ideas, and sometimes I will leave stories unfinished for years, and I hate that I do that. And I could never get myself to do it, but like I made sure I've been going through this, going through the script and everything of the original game. I'm making sure to apply stuff from the game into it. But I'm afraid to write any more right now because of the new game. And I was thinking of rewriting it in the future if I ever end up finishing it before this game comes out or whatever, if that ever ends up being the case. But I'm like worried. I feel like I'm going to get a lot of things wrong that was originally correct, and then apparently they're going to take away out of all the other entries for the compilations, except for like Crisis Core.
Yeah.
Although I can understand why, because the fact that you had Genesis.
Well, and then they want to pretend Genesis doesn't exist.
But I mean, I understand why, because you got the original game, and then you had Crisis Core, and how they handled Sephiroth's descent into madness, if you will.
Apparently Genesis caused it. I'm like,
apparently,
no.
Sephiroth's like, Genesis, I am tired about hearing about your bloody frickin' potion. I'm tired about hearing about longing. I'm tired about your Benora white dumb apples or whatever. I'm just gonna burn this village down. Oh my goodness, that's actually...
Well,
what if that was the case? Oh my goodness. Yeah. That would have been kind of ironic, if you will.
Yeah, that was, and have you read any of Restored yet?
Restored, which is Restored? I don't think so.
I'll look it up just a minute.
I was like, you piqued my curiosity. Why must you do this to me?
Have you read all of Remnants yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, finish reading that first, and then I'll. Cause it's gonna spoil you if I show you Restored now. It's gonna spoil you. You have to read all of Remnants first, cause you have to see where she comes from, and oh, come on.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I'll probably read it later. I'm definitely gonna have time from the 5th onward until like the 11th, because I'm gonna be out of town. My older sister's having a wedding.
Okay, so
yeah, so we're instead of taking a plane, we are driving because it'd be cheaper.
Yeah. Anyway, So yeah, you drive because it's cheaper. Well, takes longer.
Well, the thing is, we would have to do so many layovers. That's the thing. And, for every layover you do, you have to buy an additional ticket. So it wasn't going to be 2 layovers. It was going to be more than 2. It was going to be like about 3 or 4. I don't know. I don't remember.
And, yeah. Okay, so. I'm trying to find the.
You can find it. I believe in you. I know you can do it.
Yep. Ugh. Yeah, I just can't get that line out of my head. It was hilarious.
It's just her right now. Okay.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
It's stupid things I do sometimes when I record stuff,
Yeah.
So usually I get rid of usually I don't have bloopers because I'm just like, oh, I messed up. And I just only recently realized, hey, this stuff is funny. Let's send it in.
Or the comment about the pink chocobos.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I can't wait for you did we recently submit lines for we submitted lines for episode 4, I believe, right?
Yeah.
I like I think you'll like the bloopers I came up with. I realized that that I did an initial take and then I realized, oh wait, I need to redo these lines because I got the context from the chapter. And I'm thinking, okay, let's just go back here. I got new bloopers, so you got